This is Newstalk.
It's Mairead Ronan in for Andrea today. And today we're exploring a growing trend in pet nutrition. Vegan diets for dogs, yes. While dogs have long been considered meat eaters, new research and first-hand experiences suggest that they may actually thrive on plant-based diets. Let me know. Would you put your dog on a vegan diet? I'd love to hear from you. 087 1400 106. Jerry Boland, founder of and spokesperson for Animals Behind Closed Doors, is on the line. Good afternoon, Jerry.
Hello, Mairead.
Good. Do you know any dogs on vegan diets?
I know loads of them. Yeah, I don't have any at the moment myself, but I have had. I'm living in an apartment at the moment, so it's not suitable for a dog's life. But yeah, in fact, I probably know hundreds of vegans, to be honest with you, because I'm involved in different campaigns. I don't know a single vegan who feeds their dog a meat diet. Now, I'm sure there are some, because I suppose what I would say is the most important thing is the dog's happiness, not the vegan diet, not the human person, whether they're happy or not. So I wouldn't like to see a situation where a vegan is forcing a diet on a dog that is making the dog unhealthy or unhappy. But in my long experience, dogs, generally speaking, are not either unhealthy or unhappy on a vegan diet. Okay. Definitely not. Like, they're omnivores. They're not carnivores. They're omnivores.
So I have a dog. He's almost 10. So we'll say he's 10. He's a couple of weeks short of a 10-year-old. He is a meat eater because I have never known another way. But I tried him about a year ago on a vegan diet over a weekend, and it didn't, let's just say it didn't suit him. It didn't suit him. So I suppose, would he get used to it? Would I have to keep going with it? Or was he too old for me to change his diet? Does this need to be done from when it's a puppy?
Yeah, it's a tricky thing, Mairead, because say for instance at 30 years of age, as a human, you decide to give up eating meat. Well, it's your choice.
Yeah.
And you can but it's not the dog's choice. So I think you have to be careful. So if the dog is reacting badly to it, or his mood is down, or his energy is down, or her energy is down, I think the best thing to do is to seek the advice of your local vet. Because vets, are trained in this, and they should know what's advisable and what's not advisable. I think it can be done, but generally speaking, most of the dogs that I would have come across over the years that are vegan, that are fed a plant-based diet, which is wide, they've been fed a vegan diet from the day they were born. Uh-huh. So a 10-year-old dog used to eating meat for 10 years. It's a tough ask.
It is that old one. Yeah. You can't teach a dog new tricks / new diets.
No, you've got to be kind to your dog. You've got to be kind to your dog, definitely.
Okay. Well, listen, thanks for that, Jerry. It's founder and spokesperson for Animals Behind Closed Doors. Brian Rush is on the line as well. Good afternoon, Brian.
Good afternoon, Mairead. How are you?
So, Brian, you're a farmer.
I am. Dairy farmer in Kildare, yeah. Okay.
Are your dogs vegan?
No, certainly not. We've got 2 dogs here, and listen, I listen with interest what Jerry says. The dog has to be happy, and the dog, it has to suit the dog. But I don't know, I think I know a lot about rearing young stock and rearing young dogs, and I don't know how you get the amount of nutrition into them that is required for a growing animal by just feeding a plant-based diet. Like, the one thing about meat and animal products is they're so nutritionally dense. Whether you're a human or an animal that's evolved to eat it, nothing will beat that. Nothing will beat that.
That's what you say. Hang on the line there, Brian. I'll bring in Sandra Higgins is on the line as well, and she's director of Go Vegan World. Sandra, would you agree with Brian there?
Well, the problem with an opinion like Brian's is, we've grown up believing that we need to eat animal products for human health, and we also believe that we need to feed our animals animal products for health. But actually, it's very important to look at the science, rather than anecdotal evidence. And a study came out in the last few days, led by Rebecca Brochek from the School of Veterinary Medicine and Science at the University of Nottingham, and they analysed 31 vegan dog dog foods on the market in the UK. Mm-hmm. They included vegan plant-based dog foods and dog foods containing animal products, and they found that they were nutritionally comparable. Now, the same science is true of humans. Humans can get all the nutrition they need on a plant diet. So we don't need animal products. It's this idea that animal products are nutritionally dense and that we're dependent on them is a complete myth. But I would agree with what Jerry said. Of course, vegans do not support the pet industry. Being vegan means that we respect that other animals have rights. We don't use them as our property. We don't use them for companionship or entertainment. So I'd say at the outset, this is an industry that we don't support. But a lot of vegans rescue animals, and it's right for people to adopt animals and to rescue them. And when you have an animal in your life, they've been domesticated, so they're completely dependent on us. They're dependent on us for their health needs and what they eat. So you do need to be very careful that they're on a diet that's good for their health and that they also enjoy and that they're happy with and that you can afford. But a plant-based diet will provide all those criteria for the dog in your life.
Okay.
But like in your own case, Mairead, you have to, you don't change your own diet
overnight.
That dramatically So any change in an animal's diet needs to be done in small doses. And, if you see any upset in their health at all, pull back and just watch out that it's not something serious that would require veterinary attention. Now,
I'll just go back to Brian for a second. Brian, so you're a farmer, as you said. You're a dairy farmer in Kildare, and what Sandra has said there is that your dogs can get all the nutrition they need to grow from a pup to a healthy dog through a plant-based diet.
Well, I suppose the point I'd make is, and Sandra kind of rubbished it there, that nutrient density comes into play. So, listen, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm all for free choice, and if your dog wants free choice, I would suggest put a piece of meat down in front of it and a head of broccoli and see which one the dog prefers. Because I bet my house on it picks the meat. So I think if the dog had a choice in the matter, the dog would choose meat every time. And I think part of this is that vegan ideology, which I've no problem with, because I'm all for free choice, as long as those choices are balanced and balanced diet, are being kind of cast upon vegans' pets. So that's the one thing I'd say about it. And the other point is that nutrient density is a consideration in anyone's diet. So what sort of volume of food do you need to eat in order to ingest your recommended dietary allowance of protein? And that protein should come in a balanced form. So that means animal products, dairy products, vegetables, fruit, everything. So I just don't believe in this all or nothing kind of view of nutrition. I think it's balanced. That's the way.
So you're in everything in moderation, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. My cows take everything in moderation. They're herbivores. I wouldn't dream of giving them meat because they're not evolved to eat meat.
Okay. Sandra, I know what some people would say price is a factor in all of this. Is the vegan pet food a similar cost?
I think it is. I mean, you'd have to look at some of the studies to see, but I think it is. It's just very important for your listeners to know that it's very important if your animal is on a plant-based diet. It can make the urine alkaline and they can be prone to crystals. So in order to prevent that, you do need to add one or two supplements. In some of the dog foods,
which will ultimately increase. That would increase the cost for the owners. I'm going to just read a few of the texts that have come into us here. Mairead, this is madness. A vegan dog. Another one here. My dog loves spuds and broccoli. I remember well in Donegal when I went to my auntie's house. She put on an extra dinner and an extra dessert for the sheepdog. They never ever got tinned food, not even once. And that's from Kitty. Hi Mairead, people can be precious about their dog's diet, but when you're not looking, they will still drink out of the toilet bowl. That's from Noel. Another one, dogs are carnivores. Leave them alone. I'm going to bring in Donal. Donal, you're in Athlone.
Yeah. Have you
a vegan dog or a dog like my own that will eat every single bit of meat that's going?
I have a chocolate brown Labrador.
Oh, gorgeous.
He just eats all day, but my recollection is that a dog is a wolf derivative. Now, I have yet to hear of a farmer complaining about the wolves coming in and eating their carrots and broccoli.
Yeah.
As the lad in Kildare mentioned. There's also, is there a problem that's there that requires we have to focus on vegan feeds. Because when I bring my guy to the vet, when he's finished at the vet, she gives him a lump of ham.
Okay.
So, I mean, I would never, I feed him dry stuffs and whenever I'm eating. And if I put a full, let's say, Sunday type beef dinner down to him on the plate, it's all gone. Roasted spuds, Yorkshire pudding,
It's a very lucky chocolate lab you have there.
Well, you know what I mean. I'm just saying, I don't, including the gravy. I'm not, an expert to say that, vegan would be great for them. But all these studies, these vegan studies, who sponsored them?
Sandra,
I'd love to see the sponsor of all these studies.
Well, I suppose people are saying to reduce your carbon footprint, we're supposed to eat less meat. Isn't that correct, Sandra?
Yeah, environmental concerns are certainly very important, and the figures are astounding that you can radically reduce the harm that you inflict on the environment and loss of biodiversity and cause of climate change by using a plant rather than an animal diet. But you see, you have to ask yourself, Mairead, all these people who claim to care about animals, and they have dogs and cats in their house, they wouldn't dream of slaughtering and eating those cats or dogs.
Oh, so my dog is loved like one of the children, so he's adored.
We're completely losing sight of. Somebody asked there, is there a problem? Yes, there is a problem. We are killing 90 billion animals every year to be used as human food for nutrients that we don't need. That's a big problem. If that was 90 billion cats or dogs, people would soon start to react.
We would be taken to the streets. We would be taken to the streets. You're right. We would. But that's it. We've never eaten cats and dogs. We've always eaten cows and pigs and lamb. So that is just the way it is. Thanks to everyone who contributed there. There was Jerry Boland, Brian Rush, our farmer in Kildare, Sandra Higgins, who's director of Go Vegan World, and Donal from Athlone with a very, very lucky chocolate lab.